So, Virgo, your love card for 2025 is the Emperor, which suggests someone with strong Aries in the natal chart. It might be their sun, their moon, or their rising sign, or perhaps you have strong Aries or Emperor energy. Perhaps you or the person that you're involved with, or the both of you, have just exited or entered a particularly stressful period. In any case, this is a relationship that is dominated by strong masculine energy and very traditionalist views, possibly concerning roles in the relationship. So if you're dating, this isn't a person for you to toy with emotionally. They really don't like to hear no as an answer. So if you're trying to get involved, you need to be serious with this person. Now, it might be that something about your belief system or a partner's sets the guidelines for how this relationship plays out. Either of you may be laying down the law or setting the boundaries for the relationship. For the feminine, this might indicate getting involved with an older man, someone who is firmly established. Maybe he's wealthy, he's prestigious, or he holds a high position. He's a natural leader, and it's possible that this becomes your lifetime partner if you're single. However, if you happen to get involved with somebody who's already married or committed, an affair is all this person is likely to offer. You'll never be number one, and you won't be replacing his wife. You're simply an addendum to his existing relationship. Now, for an ongoing union, this is a very conventional connection. Again, one partner is more dominant, and they may be very rigid and authoritarian in their approach to life. And the partnership may fall under their domain. They may hold more of the power to make the decisions. That could be you or the other person. But you have to be careful, if it's the other person, of surrendering your autonomy. When you look at this card, it appears that the woman is reluctantly following the male. She doesn't look altogether happy. She doesn't look happy at all. And the exit way looks like it's only opened of his own accord. So keep in mind that either of you may be playing the feminine or the masculine, regardless of gender. So for this Emperor person, matters are usually clear-cut. They're very black and white. But real intimacy requires sensitivity, vulnerability, consideration of the other person. So it may be much easier for this person to focus on business or financial concerns rather than, dealing with emotions. But for this relationship to sustain health, the need is to overcome that impulse to be aggressive, domineering, overcritical, and overbearing in behavior. So in some cases, this is a relationship that is rather conservative. There can be definite ideas related to the husband role or the wife role, or who's dominant and who is submissive. On the upside, this can be a solid relationship where each partner is in it for the long haul. One of you may very well have stronger strengths to lead, but again, the problem of this dynamic is looking for a partner to fulfill the role of father figure, where the power is given away and the partner is allowed to make all of the decisions. Now, this could be a year where if you're stuck in a confining relationship, maybe it's important for you to liberate yourself, to break away from some old-fashioned views, ideas about relationship. Make your own decisions. And in some cases, possibly you're having to grow up. So to that end, you may be coming into your own. You're claiming your power and speaking up for yourself, or you're communicating your needs and your desires more directly. In some instances, maybe you're very passionate, for better or worse. And because of that, certain situations can become confrontational. Events that play out during this year, maybe they drive up your anger, or they bring up power struggles or control issues surface. So either of you will probably demand to know where you stand in matters and where you stand with each other, because this is a year where security and a solid foundation is very important to you. But there can be a lot of intensity and self-righteousness that tends to cloud the issues. So you can expect this year that there are going to be some periodic power struggles where one of you is just a little bit too pushy in trying to forward a personal agenda, trying to make something move faster than it needs to or that it even should. And so not accepting that certain matters are out of your hands, or that you don't actually have the control you think you do, or you don't know what you think you know, and so forth, can in some cases lead to some kind of emotional isolation. You may find yourself, at odds with one another. Especially if you're dealing with the shadow side of the emperor. Maybe your partner falls on either end of the spectrum. Either this is a tyrannical bully, a rebel without a cause, or it's an ineffective child adult who is immature and unwilling to take responsibility. Again, at the best, this is an enduring relationship that can weather the storms through sheer will and persistence. The key is to use your common sense about what you'd like to accomplish personally and with regard to the person you're involved with. Now, the rapport that you share with this person could be, very exciting, could be liberating, again, could be confrontational at times. And there's this desire perhaps to either break the mold, the history. Maybe you're surprised at a partner's history or vice versa. And there can be this energy of breaking something down and building it back up, or again, tearing down those boundaries, the structure, the conservatism, and going against the grain, doing, some kind of renovation emotionally as far as your relationship. Now, you may be working on something. Maybe the two of you are, working on, if you have an established relationship, maybe you're buying a piece of property and you're renovating, redecorating. But again, there's strong energy between you where either of you could be at times issuing some kind of ultimatum or making some kind of shocking statements or pushing the boundaries, pushing the buttons, taking the partner by surprise. And it may be a relationship where things suddenly come out. There can be the tendency to just blurt out statements without really thinking about them. Someone could be, again, very powerful. They could be a hothead, a strong temper. Or, you may have this rapport with the partner where you talk about things, your beliefs, politics, values, and you may enlighten your partner or vice versa. There could be new ideas, new perspectives, new insights about situations. This is also a relationship where there has been some measure of grief, or either your partner has suffered some grief or you have. There's a strong determination here to survive. Maybe it's a connection that has gone through a lot of ups and downs. Maybe you've had to deal with some kind of emergency or crisis situation, and you are still standing. This could be a relationship that, where love and affection is concerned, there has been some measure of pain or suffering. Perhaps there's been some kind of betrayal within the relationship, or either of you have a history that you bring to the table with that. But there's a strong sense of survival, still standing, having been through a lot, learned a lot, gained a lot of wisdom and experience. And part of it may be, one of you may be not taking something seriously enough. Maybe one of you has a tendency to let loose in the worst way, whether that is, recreationally, you don't know what the limits are, or maybe there's a need to lighten up. Whatever it is, this is a relationship where you may need to consider where you are if you're at an impasse and why you're there. So it's really taking into account the experiences, the situations, your own role in getting to a particular place. There is a lot of energy in your chemistry, a lot of sexual attraction. And for some of you, maybe, you are wanting to do something exciting. Maybe, chemistry is part of travel for you, or maybe you meet someone that you're attracted to when you're traveling alone. You may be very excited about starting something. But for others of you, maybe there's some sexual baggage. You may hold on to some things that affect performance or connection. And there could be any range of issues: past conditioning, childhood patterns, your relationship with your parents, past relationships. All of those bring something to bear on your physical connection. And you may be giving a lot of thought to it, especially if you're spending a lot of time alone or forced to. Maybe your partner has to travel, and that has an impact on your sexual connection. There could be some major changes, and maybe what happens is beyond your control. And these sudden changes, maybe they change the course of your relationship, your life. Some of it may involve some kind of setback, and even those will bring some kind of realization or clarity that you are a survivor and that together you can handle something, whether it was expected or not. Now, some of you, again, maybe, you're excited about taking small getaways, or you're making some small changes that make a big difference in your relationship or in your ability to find someone and have a relationship. It could be your attitude about socializing or the environment. Maybe you accept an invitation somewhere that actually leads to a relationship, or you notice that your social skills maybe aren't as rusty as you thought. So some of you, you're having this positive outlook. It's the birth of something new in your relationship. Negatively, you may be, again, caught off guard by some small changes that you didn't expect. Maybe you're burning yourself out trying to force matters to go your way. And again, that can be an issue with the Emperor card. It may be external pressures that make your relationship vulnerable. Maybe you're dealing with outside pressure or problems that really have nothing to do with you but somehow affect you. Some of you, you might surprise yourself by starting a relationship that you already know is doomed to fail. So for some of you, you're going to decide to end a relationship, start one, or if you end the relationship, it may be something you didn't anticipate. It may come out of the blue. It may take both of you by surprise. Some situation may push either of you over the edge, especially if you're unwilling to accept your own mistakes in the relationship. That could seriously undermine a situation for you. So something is going to occur in your connection with others that either makes you more emotionally available or more closed off. Perhaps it's an increase in financial security that, motivates you to have companionship, or something that gives you a boost that allows you to make your relationship better. But it's a year where greater self-awareness causes you to change the way you socialize, your habits in relating. Now, where you do share values is, this sense of cooperation, teamwork, really, taking a look to scrutinize situations to see where you can figure out where there's a mistake, a crack in the foundation, where the flaws are, how you can bolster your relationship and make it stronger. And you use your intuition perhaps about how your partner feels, which direction the relationship should take. If you're single, your intuition also informs you about whether a relationship is worthy of moving forward. And so whether that drives the passion, whether this is a relationship simply built on a sexual connection or something much deeper. And it can also inform you as to whether, anger is at work. You may have, the sense of what makes your partner tick, what makes your partner ticked off. Some of you, maybe you don't have shared values. You're taking a closer look at something. Maybe you're looking at people who are so insecure or needy or clingy or overbearing or unaccountable that you feel like they're just baggage. They're a load. And if you could get rid of that, you probably could get closer to the kind of ideal situation, life, or relationship that you're really looking for. And whether that's true or not is simply a matter of perspective. The area of conflict is most likely to be issues where one of you is very self-contained. There could be great admiration for someone. They may appear to be the total package, or there may be criticism, this extremely high standard, this unattainable bar of expectation of what the partner should be, can be, is capable of being. And maybe that's unrealistic. There can be the tendency to put off this energy like, well, I don't need anybody. I'm comfortable with my own company. And, it can mean that one of you is very detached or aloof. For some of you, that means this push and pull about how much you actually want to be in a relationship. There's this constant battle between wanting to be cared and loved for or being self-sufficient, self-reliant. Maybe there's great admiration for someone because they have a lot of discipline or because they're very cultured, intelligent, attractive, whatever the attributes are that you admire. In some cases, especially if you're single, maybe a relationship is difficult to get off the ground because one of you feels intimidated by the other, as if maybe, you're looking at someone as if they're out of your league or they're just out of reach or you can never really connect for whatever reason. For some of you, though, there are issues in your relationship. Maybe the person you're with has too many admirers. Maybe there are issues of infidelity. So you're really having to look at where you may be setting boundaries, whether they're too strong or not strong enough. Now again, maybe you have a shared goal and that becomes a source of conflict. It could have something to do with property or real estate or property management. Maybe you're buying something or the investments you want to make or you're renovating or redecorating. That can be extremely stressful in a relationship because there could be unanticipated costs or changes that you didn't expect, and it becomes a pressure cooker. Others of you, maybe you're just getting caught up in the material. You enjoy your privacy, you enjoy your downtime, you enjoy your money, the material comforts, but that lack of companionship, maybe that doesn't really make up for that solitary existence. There's only so much fulfillment that you may be getting out of that. So again, maybe you refuse to give up on yourself, you refuse to give up on your relationship just because you hit a few rough patches. It's persistence that pays off, especially when you or you and your partner work together to make things right. Here's your sneak peek for the year in love.